Tristen Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristen Law, semi-retired pro wrestler, and today, I'm your host. Today, we're breaking down what every single person is talking about. Oh, I'm talking about that SmackDown main event that left fans scratching their heads. Today, I'm calling it Botchgate. Some fans are blaming Nia Jax, and some are just blaming the referee. And today, we're going to debate it all. And I'm going to explain it. I am not alone, though, today. She is back. Yep, by popular demand. Jess Thee Yaptain. She's the captain of the Yaptain. She's here to represent the fans' point of view. And I'll be not only schooling Jess, but I'm schooling all of you on who's really at fault. This episode is about peeling back the curtain just enough so that to help you see what really went wrong in that moment. Jess, what's going on? I'm glad that you're here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you again, Tris. I am happy to be back. Guys, I'm sorry I missed before. Y'all, you know, the weather is changing, which means I got sick for like a second. But you know what? I'm back. I'm ready. And let's go ahead. Let's talk about SmackDown Friday night and the botch of the year. Let's talk about it and why I personally puts it on Nia. Yes, I do. Absolutely. Yes, I will and do, because from what I saw, everybody, I saw our girl Daphne, the ref, smack that hand on the mat twice. So for me, I'm thinking like, okay, Nia, she's quite near your ear, so you don't hear her say kick out. You don't hear that twice hitting on the mat. So in my mind, I'm sorry, she was not paying attention. That was just on her incompetence.
Well, let me go ahead and set the table properly first. And Fernando says hello to you, Jess. He says Buenos Dias. Fernando says that he thinks that this incident has been overblown. We have seen wrestlers' gear get cut several times. This is why this incident is getting so much focus. Well, you know what? Let me set the table, right? I see all of your points, Jess. But we are going to set the table so that everybody understands what went on. So,
all right,
we had that match on SmackDown, and the issue that everybody's talking about is the ref counts 2 instead of 3, and Nia doesn't kick. The way it starts is that Jade Cargill, she drops Nia Jax with her finish, which is the eye of the storm. After that, Nia Jax kicks out, and Tiffany Stratton basement drop kicks Jade Cargill and goes for the pin. After that happens, what's next? That Tiffany goes for the cover on Nia Jax, but the referee, Daphne LaShawn, she only counts to 2. So then you have Nia Jax look over like, girl, WTF. Look, there's a lot of issues with that whole entire thing there, Jess, and you're saying that Nia Jax is at fault. Look, Jess, you saw a wrestler mess up, and I saw a referee fail at her number 1 job.
I have to disagree with you, Trish. I do. I think she did exactly what her job is. Remember, we're watching Unreal on Netflix, so we know that everybody is not mic'd up. Everyone has a head, like a little earpiece in their ear. So Hunter is telling them what to do. So when the whole incident with Jade happened, we all saw that. She pinned her real quick, boom, kicked out, and then she rolled away because we saw that, she was cut real bad and she lost a lot of blood. But everybody knows that Tiffany Stratton's finisher is what? The prettiest moonsault ever. She didn't do that. She broke it up with Jade and Nia, pushed her off, and then we have the problem, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking as a wrestler, you already should know what the finishers are as far as certain people that you wrestle in the ring. So when Nia was laying there and she saw that it wasn't a kick out, it was a push off, she should have just known better. She should have known. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. Maybe the ref should have verbally said 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, something, right? But she should have also, as an intelligent wrestler, know that if that is not the finisher, that's not the finisher, and the ref knows that's not the finisher, why wouldn't you kick out? You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you kick out on time just in case to make sure that everything stays in play? Or you know what? You could have kept it going. The ref could have rolled out and checked on Jade for a second. So we would have had no ref for a second, counting out 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 whatever. Then we could have just did a whole thing with Nia and Tiffany for a couple of seconds just to run things back to make it feel a little more WWE. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, everybody's professionals at this point, right? I'm not saying that Nia needs to be fired. I'm not saying Daphne needs to be fired, but somebody needs to be held accountable for this botch because it was on live television.
All right, Jess, you gave a lot there from the fans' perspective, and I really want to dive into this because there's a huge difference between what you guys see on the surface and what happens when you're actually in the ring. You know what, Jess? Class is now in session. The referee has one job, right? The referee is a part of the pulling the rabbit out of the hat. The referee is a part of the act. They are part of the gimmick. The referee is just as important as the two people in the ring. The referee's role is to protect the finish, to call it down the middle, don't expose the business, and make the match look as legitimate as possible. If the shoulders are down and no kick out, it's a 3 count. Period. The end. When I was wrestling, people would always ask me, the referee would always ask me, hey, bro, what's the finish? And I always tell him it's a 3 count. Or I would always say it's a submission. The reason why, because if I tell them I'm supposed to come off the top rope with the flying headbutt, which was my finish at one time, if I was supposed to come off the top rope with the flying headbutt and halfway through the match, the wrestler got hurt and the referee didn't hear it and we had to switch the finish to a roll-up just to get out of there, the referee wouldn't count 3 because he knows that the finish is the flying headbutt. So the referee's job is to always count 3. It's the wrestler's job to kick out at every time. It's like when you go to work at McDonald's. Not Jesse. Jess does not work at McDonald's. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when you go to work, if somebody's working at McDonald's and your job is to fry the fries, you fry the fries. You don't cook the burger. You do your job. That's what you're supposed to do. The referee is a part of the performance. Okay? The referee's not a handbag. They're not an accessory. They're not a watch. The referee is one of the most important people in the match. Now, the way I think it was supposed to go, I think that Tiffany was supposed to break up the pin, but she was out of position for whatever reason. That's why it had the whole thing to where Nia had to push Jade Cargill off for the pin, right? But the reason why, you have to protect your finisher, right? That's one of the things they always tell you, is to protect your finisher. But then again, sometimes your finisher doesn't really mean anything if you're on the indies, right? But Jade Cargill's finish is the eye of the storm. There should be nobody really kicking out of that move. So the way that you protect her move is that you have somebody like Tiffany Stratton, the other person in the ring, she breaks up the pin. It's a triple threat match. It's okay. There's no issue with that. If Nia is getting pinned now by Tiffany Stratton, there's no reason why there's no reason why Nia Jax should just lay there and just take the pinfall. Why? Because she's already kicked out of a move. Why is she laying there? So fine, but either way, regardless if the referee, if Daphne LaShawn caught that or not, her job is to count to 3. Your job is to count to 3 every single time. When you go to the back, and you count to 3, and the wrestlers go, yo, WTF. They want to meet you at the curtain. Yo, WTF, that was not the finish. Now, somebody like me that has time on the job is going to come and try to break up the fight, and I'm going to say, Jess, what happened? And they're going to say, oh, well, she counted to 3, and that wasn't the finish. And I'm going to look at the ref. I'm going to go, is that true? The referee's going to go, yes. And Jess, I'm going to look at the wrestlers. I go, did you kick out? They go, no, we kicked out late. Kick out. Your job is to kick out. That is your sole job. That when you go into the ring, right, your job is to kick out. If you were the NWA champion, if Ric Flair, the NWA champion, the traveling world champion, if he goes someplace else and they pin Ric Flair for that NWA championship, that wasn't the case. Ric Flair was supposed to come back with the championship. If Ric Flair can't defend himself in the ring and make sure that the NWA championship doesn't get changed, that's on Ric Flair. Ric Flair's going to have to understand that. Right now, NXT is working with TNA. They have those titles. The TNA titles are in the WWE right now. If NXT comes out there, if TNA comes out there and they pin somebody from NXT and take the championship back, but that is not how it is supposed to go, that is the fault of only one person, the wrestler that got pinned. You're the champion. Kick out. When I was the champion for BWO in Jersey, Body Slam Wrestling Organization, I was always afraid that somebody was going to try to get over on me because they wanted the championship. Granted, it's a show, but I know what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to kick out every single time. If I didn't kick out, it was on me. My job is to kick out. The ref's job is to count to 3. That is it. So right now I'm asking in a poll, who is at fault? Is it Nia Jax or the referee? With the way that it went down, because we got the 2 fingers up in the air. The 2 fingers up in the air is the telling tale. It's the referee's fault, 100%. Now, if it was Nia's fault, the referee would have counted 3, and if the referee counted 3 and Nia Jax didn't kick out, then it's Nia Jax's fault. It's a part of where everybody has to go out there and do their job. Like, for example, Jess, when we are here, you do what you do. You speak for the fans, and I speak for the wrestler, right? The Fernando and everybody in the audience, everybody plays their role. When one person in the group stops playing their role, everything falls out. It is 100% Nia Jax's fault. I'm sorry, the referee's fault. It is 100%. It is 100% the referee's fault.
Y'all heard that first, right? This is a recorded session.
Look,
he agrees with no. You agree with me. You knew it. You knew it because you just said it. This is Nia Jax's job, bro. If like the one thing she could have did, if out of everything in the whole match, just kick out. It doesn't even matter anymore. You know, you got Jade over there spewing blood out of her forehead right now. You got Tiffany over here. She has no idea what's happening. And Lord knows, I'm just looking at Daphne. I'm thinking about this in her ear. I'm just like, dang, what is Paul saying? What is Triple H saying to her? Who like, obviously they are saying some wild stuff right now because clearly everybody is confused. Everybody.
I can tell you one thing that I know that was said over the IFB.
What?
Sorry, Mom, I know you're watching, but somebody said, what the fuck? Because she's got a producer in her ear, depending on who produced that match. We can say like somebody like Bobby Roode, he could have produced that match. I don't know, I'm just saying, right? But Bobby Roode could have produced that match and probably would have said, yo, he would have went over the headset like, yo, what the hell? And Triple H is looking over him crazy and stuff like that because that's not the finish, right? Mm-hmm. Because she didn't count the finish. She only had one job, and she failed at the job. She was supposed to count to 3 and didn't count to 3.
Nia was supposed to kick out and didn't kick out. So I guess it's just a double-edged sword at this point. We both just said it. The number one thing that everyone has to do right now is their job.
That's right.
If the number one job is for the person to kick out, because obviously they know who's going to win the match.
Right.
Obviously we knew
it's 2025.
that, right? So if your job is to make sure you sell it, accidents or not, you do your job. Not break out a character and be like, what the fuck? Excuse me, I'm so sorry. But that's why I said, no, Nia, you got to take some accountability for this. Why? Because if you know for a fact that, not Jade, Tiffany's finisher is not pushing off Jade and pinning. No, that's not what it was. That's not the conversation y'all had for a week or y'all had in in your workout session. No, you're supposed to do the prettiest moonsault ever. Boom, you retain. That's it. That's all. You kick out for a couple of times and boom, we all know Jade, Tiffany was supposed to retain. So I'm sorry.
Either way, none of that matters. It doesn't matter what the finish is. It doesn't matter if we know what It doesn't matter if we know what Tiffany Stratton's finish is. We know that when you see the shoulders on the mat, the referee's supposed to count to 3. If you don't kick out, it's on you. Granted, looking psychology-wise, looking at the match from the lens of a pro wrestler, if Nia Jax didn't kick out when she came back through the curtain and I was the producer, I'd be like, yo, you made yourself look weak because you took the finish and then you kicked out and just laid there. You just laid there. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Nia Jax would have made her.
That's what I'm saying.
Nia Jax would have made herself look bad, but because it's like this, right? Imagine somebody steps on your foot, and when they step on your foot, instead of stepping back on their foot, you slap their head right off their shoulders. 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 there. In that case, 1 + 1 equals 11. Okay, because what you did trumps the other. If Nia Jax had just laid there and the referee counted to 3, that would have been an issue with Nia Jax. I don't think this might have had an issue to do with Jade Cargill getting busted open the hard way. It might have, right? There's probably a lot going on in her ear at the same time. They were talking to her. She was running around. Because if you don't know, people don't know, the referee, like I said, they are the person that has a direct line to everybody in the back. Anybody that is watching the wrestling in the actual ring, there's no way for them to be in contact with anybody in the back other than in the referee. The referee gives the referee gets commands like, hey, all right, we're getting ready to go to commercial. The referee gets commands like, all right, the referee gets timed. All right, you got 5 minutes left, right? To let them know. When they say you got about 2 minutes left, that means if you're not in the sequence to go home to where you're getting ready to finish the match, you've got 2 minutes to finish the match. And in some places where I've been, they will ring the bell on you. They will ring the bell. When they say it's time to go home, it's time to go home. You'll be wrestling and you hear ding, ding, ding. You go, holy crap, never happened to me. Thank baby Jesus. Never happened to me. But in that whole entire time, somebody probably said, oh crap, Jade is hurt really bad. Go check on Jade. So now she's checking on Jade. She's doing what she got to do. Maybe they changed the finish right then and there. Maybe they could have changed the finish. And that's how Daphne LaShawn could have gotten confused and not count to 3, but it's still her job to still count to 3 every single time to make the match legitimate.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. For me, it's a double-edged sword. Just like she could have counted to 3 as a professional wrestler when things are hitting the fan and not going right. You just said it. Your number one job, knowing that you're not going to win the match. If you already know that, then your job is to kick out and sell it. That's why I'm just like, no, I'm sorry, Nia. You gotta take this L. Only one because, well, justice for Jade, but justice for Jade. But you knew when she split her face open, because I'm sorry, from what I saw, she knew that Jade was out way before she laid there like a little piece of salmon. And Jade hopped on her, boom, kicked out, and then you had Tiffany. It just is what it is. I'm sorry. If Daphne has to take some heat, then Nia definitely has to take some heat.
Nah, not at all.
Sorry.
Not at all.
She has to, bro.
Think of it like this. Like a car accident.
You're on live TV, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're a professional. You should know. You just said it. You should know better.
You should. They should all know better. But think of it like this, right? It would be Nia Jax's fault if Nia Jax was driving. Let's take it out of wrestling and put it in 2 cars, because everybody can visualize this a lot easier. You don't have to explain, oh, well, you've been a wrestler or not. Look at it like this, like cars. If you're driving a car, right, and you crash into a pole, who's at fault?
The person driving the car.
Okay. If you're driving a car on the highway, right, and you stop short and I hit you, who's at fault?
The person who hit me in the back.
Why?
Because you should have stopped. Why would you follow me so closely where you can't brake when you can't brake, right?
I was following you too closely, right? Granted, even though you probably jammed on your brakes, because I hit you, it trumps all of that. So Nia Jax, right? Let's say that Nia Jax was the person that stepped on the brakes a little bit too hard, and Daphne LaShawn was the one that hit her. Daphne LaShawn is the one that owns the fault. She was supposed to count to 3. You are taught, and I've refereed as well too. You are taught to count to 3. The only thing when I'm wrestling, the only thing I'm telling the referee, the term that we use is smartening the referee up. The only thing I'm smartening the referee up is on anything that is intricate to where we need the referee to be somewhere, like a ref bump, or we need the ref not to see something, or something like that. Or that if it's an intricate spot where we just need you to be somewhere. Other than that, I'm not smarting the referee up on anything. Hey, Tristen, what's the finish? It's a pinfall. They know better. Don't come to me. Don't come to me. Because if it was anything that you need to know, I would have let you know. Don't come to me. It's a pinfall. It's a submission. If it's a submission and we change it mid-match because the fans are not into it, and we go ahead and we change it to like a roll-up, and you go 1, 2, and you wait, everybody's looking at you. Like, you would hear me say in the ring, WTF, ref? Fernando says that both.
That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Now, as we're sitting here and we're discussing it, I'm thinking back, and I'm like, there's no way, unless, it says some miscommunication between the refs, the people in the gorilla room, and the people in the gorilla room and the wrestlers. Because I'm just like, for Nia to say, what the fuck? We heard the audience count to 3, but I did see her tap the mat twice.
She
see what I'm saying?
And she put two fingers in the air.
Just like she went 1, 2, said something, and then boom, she hit the 2. You know what I'm saying? This is when I was like, okay, maybe this is when Nia was like, what the fuck? Because then I feel like she ain't no way she didn't say, hey, kick out. This is when you kick out something. Some way, somehow, some way. It has to be miscommunication. At this point, we could go team Nia, we could go team ref, but at the end of the day, the number one thing that went wrong in this match is miscommunication.
Okay, I could agree that there's probably miscommunication in the match, but the people at Gorilla, right, in a Gorilla position, Triple H, or maybe Triple H wasn't there that day, but Triple H, Bruce Pritchard, the producers, everybody back there, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if there's a miscommunication. They know what they want, and they communicate what they want. And they communicate what they want. And it's the referee's job to communicate that. So even if there was a miscue on that, it's still Daphne's job to count to 3.
Yeah, just like it's Nia's job to kick out when she's supposed to. It's again a double-edged sword.
It's not it's not a double-edged sword.
2 things can be true at once.
Nah, not this. Not
because
this.
At this point, it's looking like both me and you are correct in our stances.
Nope,
but
it's
the problem is,
here's how that conversation probably went in the back. What happened? Well, Nia was supposed to kick out. Nia, we'll talk to you in a second. You were the person, Daphne, that was supposed to count to 3. You didn't count to 3. And because you didn't count to 3, you exposed the business. If this was back in the day, it would have been a huge issue. And I'm sure that there's accountability that's going to come from this. Daphne's not just going to walk away scot-free from the whole entire thing. She's wrong. She's wrong. You're supposed to always count to 3, no matter what. When I'm teaching people pro wrestling, the thing that I always say to them is, what is the purpose of the match? The purpose of the match is for you to win. So sometimes when people are wrestling or they're training or they're newer, they're not making pinfalls. I'm like, you wrestle that match and only did 1 pinfall. What was the purpose of doing the match if you never tried to win except for at the end? The referee always has to count to 3. Always. If you watch some of my first matches before I knew better, I would wrestle the whole match and not go for 1 pinfall, 1 submission. Never tried to win. And at the end, I just magically win. Referee's job is to count to 3 at all times. At all times. If the referee counted to 3 and Nia Jax didn't come out, and Nia Jax didn't kick out, it's 100% Nia. But in this situation, you know what? I will even give accountability to Nia. I give Nia 1% accountability, but 99% of it goes to the referee.
1%?
1%. 1%.
Sure, she tripping.
Because
if
even though Nia
percentages, bro, no. If we're going, for me, it will be half and half.
Nah, definitely not half and half.
You're absolutely right. Because again, I am just a fan, so I'm not going to, know fully how the industry works. But I do know one thing. You are correct. Well, I don't know. From where we was looking at on the TV, it looked like she did count to 3. For you know what I'm saying? It looked like that. Now, however, if we were there personally, might have been a different story. So, we don't know as the viewers on TV of truly what was the conversation between Nia and Daphne at that little specific moment. Because, once the camera shifts over back to the match, we don't know what's being said. We don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? See, in my opinion, because again, Unreal, I'm not going to say it spoiled me, but it made me look at things as from a different perspective as a media person myself.
Tell me about it.
That sometimes miscommunications happen. You know what I'm saying? And your number one job as your ref is to, one, yes, count out to 3, but also make sure that your wrestlers are okay. You know what I'm saying? So when Jade split her little head open, mind you, now that on the other hand, she should have, we know she might have just missed that mark by trying to block her hand, or she might have did block her hand, but it doesn't work because hell, Nia is a strong lady. She's a strong lady.
Nah, so I'm gonna disagree with you on that part. Finish that last statement. I know what you're going to say, and I'm going to disagree with you. We're teaching pro wrestling today. Go ahead with that last part. I'm going to tell you why it's not true. Go ahead. Nia's a strong lady.
She pushed her, boom, cut her little face open. That's Jade, right? That's just there we go. But when Nia saw all that blood, now, when it's a little sprinkles, you ain't going to pay it no mind. But Nia looked and said, hey, I made her bleed. This is over.
All right, I'm going to stop you for a second. When you're throwing somebody into the ring, when you're throwing we call it shoot off. When you shoot somebody through the ropes, or you shoot somebody into the stairs or the barricade or whatever, it's a gimmick. It's an illusion. It's like pulling the rabbit out of the hat. Nobody's throwing me. If you're pulling me so hard, oh my God, I know it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, fine. Maybe my mother's watching, but you know what? I'm grown. I'm going to be like, yo, what the fuck? Why you throwing me so hard? Why? You're supposed to literally take me and then you're pantomiming that you're tossing me into the thing, and I take my own bump. I'm always supposed to take my own bump. You're not supposed to throw me and push me into the thing. So I feel that Nia is professional enough. Nia was the OG in that ring. She was the veteran in that ring. So I know Nia. I don't think Nia would be manhandling people like that, because there's nothing worse than when somebody's pushing you off and you're taking your stride and you come off the rope, you get shot off, and all of a sudden it's like, because the person just shoved you. Don't shove me. Don't shove me. Let me take my own run in the ring. Right? When you're trying to throw me down legitimately, let me take my own bump. It's a show. We're not really in there trying to hurt each other. Surprise, everyone. Surprise. But the whole thing though, Jess, that I think about this whole entire thing is that I think it's a gimmick. I think that the botch, I'm not talking about the I'm going on a limb here. I need to put on the tinfoil hat now. I think this is the gimmick for Unreal. Not the cut part. That's legit.
You're talking about the botch all itself.
The botch in itself. That's probably going to end up on Unreal.
Yeah.
Because
if it's not, I'm gonna be thrown off. Like, oh my God, y'all really jacked it up that time.
Because the reason being is that in this day and age, the way that the WWE tells stories is that you can't tell what is a part of the show and what is not a part of the show. So, but the thing though, Jess, and I think that I'm not sure if you went on YouTube and noticed, but it's not available on YouTube anymore. They cut that whole entire part out.
Yes, I thought that was so crazy. Y'all, America, they are trying to Mandela us like we didn't see what we saw, but guess what? This is why I kept my cable. So guess what I had? Right on my DVR, so I can run it back as many times as I want to.
Well, for me, I have it on my VPN. So on my VPN, I watch it on Netflix. Don't worry, I'm in the UK. Nobody has to worry. I'm in the UK. Don't worry, it's not illegal. But I watch on my VPN this morning. I watched it this morning. I watched it last night, and it's still there. Here's the thing, though. Because a lot of people are saying that this might be a part of the storyline or stuff like that. Do you think it's going to be part of the storyline, Jess?
Oh, my God. If it is, boy, y'all are. If it is, they are some geniuses. If it is, it's like we have mixed feelings about Triple H and the production and TKO. But if this is all for real, a work for Unreal, because we're supposed to get a season or a part 2 of it all after John Cena has officially finished retiring and everything like that. So if this really is a part 1, I would say, dag, Jade, you really love this business to be the scapegoat like that.
But Jade is not even... Anybody that's watching, pro wrestling fans, understand this. Jade Cargill's not in this. This is not a Jade issue. It's a maybe a Nia and the referee issue.
And she has a lot of problems with the ref, a lot. I don't know why. It's not just Daphne. I've noticed that she has a lot of problems with refs and communication. Period. I don't know. Maybe it's her. Maybe it's a work. Who knows?
If she had that much issues to be on that level, to be on SmackDown on the main event, I think that everybody in the ring there's a higher expectation. If we are going to put you in the main event of SmackDown, on Raw, any PLE, any live WWE television product, if you are put in the main event, the expectation of you is so much more. If you are on Raw and SmackDown, the expectation is much more than NXT. If you are on NXT, the expectation is much more than Evolve. If you are on Evolve, the expectation is much more than somebody that is brand new at the Performance Center. You are at the top of the food chain in the WWE, and you are expected to be at the best level. You can't expect somebody playing in the NFL and can't throw a ball more than 12 inches. If they can't throw a ball 12 inches, you're going to look at this guy and be like, why are you even here? You're in the WWE on Raw and SmackDown, and you're in the main event. The expectation is so much more. Fernando checks in and says that he's loving the debate between the both of us, and we're making great points, even though my points are greater. Thank you, Fernando. And he says that both Nia and the ref bear equal responsibility. Thank you so much for your comments.
Of course, look, had to make sure he got his head bigger because he's like, yeah, I was more right than she is.
I am.
Man, Trish, bro, I'm spinning that fact, bro. I'm sorry. This is just like basketball. If Draymond Green does what he does, what happens? He gets fined. So why can't this happen to wrestlers since, it's WWE, we're part of the ESPN universe and we're sports now. So why can't Nia Jax just go ahead, take this little fine because you know what you did, and you got a track record of doing this. You did it to Becky Lynch, you did it to Io Sky, now you did it to Jade Cargill. Come on, sis. No, you got to take this L. You got to take this L and take a fine, or just like Randy Orton. You're a queen destroyer. You like, if anything, she could make this into her own personal story. She could. She can make this into a whole story. Start finding her like Randy Orton does when Randy Orton does RKOs to the security people and whatever, and just make it so that she is like, she's like the final boss in the women's division. Like, you have to get past her or you're not going to make it. You see what I'm saying? Like, there is a story here, but she also needs to take accountability for when she messes up. I'm sorry. Sometimes you mess up as a wrestler, as a ref. You mess up sometimes. But
I don't think there's any story here. Let me tell you why there's no story here. A, because there's no money in it. B, because they scrubbed it. They Mandela effect us on YouTube, so it didn't happen. Right?
Which is crazy, right? You scrub when women do it, but when Randy Orton or any other male wrestler does something crazy like that, it's probably viral and has millions of views and stuff like that.
Do something like what?
That's the misogyny.
Are we talking about the botch? Are we talking about the botch pin? Or are we talking about Jade Cargill getting busted open?
Both.
Okay, because they're two separate things here. They're two separate things. I'm not sure because I wasn't shot into the stairs by Nia Jax. Nia Jax has enough experience in the ring to where she's not just throwing people like that into the stairs. She's a lot more professional than that. I give her that. That whole entire thing, we need to talk to Jade Cargill. Jade, if you want to be on the show, TristanLawShowMedia@gmail.com. Send me an email. We'd love to hear from you. Daphne, if you want to be on the show as well, too, TristanLawShowMedia@gmail.com. But I'll tell you this though, Jess, they're not going to talk about it ever again. It's been removed. The only thing they may talk about is the cut. You may see Jade Cargill talking about, I got a cut on my eye, but you couldn't keep me down. I'm still going to get for the championship. Maybe her and Nia Jax could go in and have a match because now they got beef. But I 100% don't believe the whole entire ref not count to 3. It's not a story. We'll never see it again because I think that if they turn that into a story, it sets the standard that when referees mess up, whether it's a part of the show, when it's a part of the show, people are going to be like, well, where's that person's fine? That referee should get fined too for that. But that's not going to happen because it's going to set the standard. The mistake happened. WWE should just move on. If anybody should get fined, it's not Nia Jax. The person that should get fined is Daphne LaShawn. I mean that respectfully. I don't want people to get their pockets hit. I don't like people getting their pockets tapped. But if anybody's going to be held accountable for what went on in that ring, it is only one person and one person only. That's Daphne LaShawn, and she should pay the fine.
Nah, I agree to disagree, my brother. I just don't see. I don't see it. But I mean, accountability is accountability. You know what I'm saying? From the standpoint of, it is your responsibility to take care of the wrestlers and make sure that the match goes the way it's supposed to go. Right. So I can understand that, but I'm team Nia, man. She needs to take some accountability.
1%.
If Daphne got to take some, then I surely believe that Nia needs to take a good percent of it. Like if not 50-50, 60-40.
There's no wrestler.
But she got to take something because that was some BS because you're a professional. You were supposed to kick out.
That's fine. That's fine. But there's no wrestler that is worth their weight in salt. After this, I urge anybody watching this to go find other videos talking about the Daphne LaShawn and Nia Jax, the Botchgate that happened on SmackDown on Friday night. I challenge anybody to go out there and anybody that's worth their weight in salt is not giving the heat to Nia Jax. Yeah, she was supposed to kick out. She didn't kick out. But the black eye on the whole entire thing is that the ref didn't count to 3. And if this was 1985 and not 2025 and everybody saw that, they would probably... The referee would have to grab her bags and get the hell out of there because the veterans are going to want to talk to her on the way out because she messed up. She was supposed to count to 3. The referee, Daphne LaShawn, I mean that respectfully. Maybe she had a bad night. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot going on in her ear. Maybe everybody's talking to her at one time. But if it's her job to count to 3. It's the wrestler's job to come out there and simulate that there's a fight. It's the referee's job to make it legitimate. To make it look like it's a legitimate fight by counting to 3. Because if there's no referees out there, it's just 2 people fighting. If there's no wrestlers out there, it's just a person standing out there in black and white stripes. Both of them played the part together. It's like ham and cheese. You don't have a ham and cheese sandwich without the ham. It's just a cheese sandwich. You don't have a ham and cheese sandwich without the cheese. At that point, it's just a ham sandwich. So this ham and cheese sandwich needs to go together perfectly. And when one part falls out, the part that fell out was the referee. Her job was to count to 3. That was her sole job.
Again, I just agree to disagree. I see your points, Trish. I really do. But again, wrestlers you're the professional here. You know this. Well, the script is fake, but wrestling isn't. So you didn't follow the script, sis. I'm sorry.
They could have changed the script either way.
So how is that the ref's fault if Nia? Because
the referee's job is to count to 3.
Nobody.
The referee's job is to count to 3. The end. That's the referee's sole job.
Yeah, that is the number 1 rule. But now in 2025, when you have stuff on Unreal, it's clearly the ref job to do a lot more than count to 3.
It's always been the ref's job. It's always been the ref's job to do a lot more. Back in the day, before the wrestlers had the IFBs in their ears, the person at the table, they would sit there with a pen. I've wrestled shows like this, that the referee's watching, the timekeeper, somebody sitting in the ring. When they go like that might mean that you have 5 minutes left. When they go like this, it might mean when they take off their hat, it might mean take it home. The referees always had extra work to do. The WWE just made it easier by putting it in their air so you can talk to them directly, so that they're not looking for hand signals. The referees always had extra things to do. The wrestlers have extra things to do as well too. It's not just come out there and just do moves and get out, right? When you're wrestling, as a semi-retired pro wrestler, host of the Tristen Law Show, when you're wrestling, what you have to do is, you put your match together, but you got to pace yourself. You have to listen to the audience, right? Right? But you have to sell. You can't just automatically take the move and get back up. You have to feel the time. One of the things about wrestling is when we wrestle in the indies and they tell you that you got 15 minutes or you got 10 minutes, when they say to you, hey, you got 10 minutes for your match, you say to the booker, is this with or without entrances? When they say with entrances, you know you probably got about 6. So you got to do your match in 6 minutes. When they say it's not included entrances, you know you got to clean 10. So you go out there and you feel your match. You put together your shine, your heat, your comeback, and your finish. That is pro wrestling 101. Your shine, your heat, your comeback, and your finish. And if you have a little bit more time than that, you might do shine, heat, comeback, finish. Or depending on the story that you tell, you can flip the whole script and you can go heat, shine, heat, comeback, finish. You can play with the match so many different ways. It's like when I was telling you the other day, Jess, about baking a cake. Or baking cookies. I use cookies when I teach wrestlers. If you're baking a basic sugar cookie, you use your sugar, you use your flour, you use your salt, you use your milk, you use your eggs, whatever. Now, once you get that base recipe down, let's add some chocolate chips to that. Let's add some frosting to that. But you have to master the basic formula first of the pro wrestling match, the shine, the heat, the comeback, and the finish. And that is what the pro wrestlers are focusing on when they're in there the whole entire time. That I know that if I do this in this amount of time, that it's going to be 10 minutes. I once went to Ring of Honor. I went to Ring of Honor for a tryout. And I've never wrestled a match, a TV style match, to where they said, you got 5 minutes. Oh crap, I didn't even know what to do. This was in a training facility, it wasn't on television. And I went out there, Jess, and I wrestled a 12-minute match. You know why? Because I didn't understand how to wrestle a 5-minute match, right? On regular TV, they would have rang the bell and I would have stood there like Boo Boo the Fool. But what did I do? I came home and I started watching old episodes of WWF Superstars, because they wrestle those 5-minute style matches. So in order for me to be a good wrestler, I have to play my part. But the referee has their part as well too. And because of WWE Unreal isn't really giving us anything new. Well, it's not giving anybody in the wrestling business anything new. It's giving everybody who's a fan a lot new. For me, I get to see how the intricacies work behind the scenes of the WWE versus the independent wrestling companies that I've been on before. That's the only thing that WWE Unreal is doing. WWE Unreal is not reinventing the wheel. The wheel has already been here. They're just showing you as a fan how the wheel is made, and as a semi-retired pro wrestler, they're showing me what makes this wheel special. Let's go to the chat. Joshua Brown. Hey, what's up, Joshua? Never seen your name here before. Welcome to the Tristen Law Show.
Welcome.
Always love seeing a new name. Maybe you've been here before and never commented, but he says that Daphne is full of herself, and I've given flowers publicly, and she's very condescending. If Booker T seen Jade open, Daphne should have adjusted. He says improv. Fernando's welcoming Joshua, says welcome. Joshua says Nia is an easy target. God forbid it was Becky Lynch. Fernando says everyone in the ring has an important role to play in the match. Yeah. If you watch that match back, right, Jess?
Yep.
If you watch that match back.
Everybody has an important role. Everybody. Even the audience sometimes.
The audience is very important. Let me tell you something. Wrestling without an audience, I could be sick and I can go and I can wrestle and everything will hurt because there's no audience. But once I'm out there and I'm getting that and I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. And I'll be honest, as a wrestler, that's what I'm addicted to. I'm addicted to the reaction. Going out there and having the fans react, that makes me forget about everything. Like I'm always nervous before going out through the curtain. Always. And when I go out through the curtain and that music plays, when I go through the curtain, I left all my worlds of troubles behind. I left behind the fact that my car only has 3 wheels. I don't have a car. But I left back the fact that my car only has 3 wheels. I left the fact that, I only got 9 fingers. Anything that bothers me, I leave it through the curtain. I go out there and I perform. And I did hear that Daphne LaShawn, that she lost her grandmother. Rest in peace to her grandmother. Hope, if it's bothering, definitely go through therapy. Therapy works. Shout out to therapy.
Yeah.
But 100% though, that it's still not an excuse. I think she's still accountable. Joshua says that he's brand new. Thank you, guys.
I mean, that's my girl and everything, But no, you're right. She have to take some accountability. I'm not telling y'all to put the full on load on my girl Daphne, but you're right.
Daphne paying you?
I wish she would. I wish she would. Girl, I wish you would. I would be your best fan. Okay, I wish that WWE would pay me, period, because y'all know I am the woman Booker T. Come on, give me a call. Y'all know y'all need a woman on that table.
Dreads.
You know you do.
It's the dreads. I'll tell you this, though. I don't want anybody walking around or watching the Tristen Law show. I don't want anybody to feel that Daphne's running around thinking that she's scot-free. I'm sure she feels really bad. It's like when you're at your job, and your boss says to you, you know what, we're going to give you a little bit of extra responsibility, and then you just crap the whole entire bed. You feel bad. They gave you the keys and said, run with it, and you feel bad. Jess, what you doing on Friday?
What am I doing on Friday? I'm definitely going to lock in and see how this is about to all play out. Because if Daphne doesn't do at least like one match, I don't care what it is. If it's any match, it might be something simple like the tag team or maybe the United States one. But she definitely might not do the main event for a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, let's get ready to wrap this up. Either way, I think the internet is talking and fans are debating, and that means that WWE wins, Botch or not. What we did today was that we broke down the Botchgate. We broke down the SmackDown main event controversy. Was it Nia Jax's fault? Was it the referee's fault? Or was WWE pulling one over on all of us? I stand by it. The referee, Daphne LaShawn, she takes the heat for her actions, but now it's her turn. You let me know who you blame. I want you to call the Pro Wrestling Hotline, 973-826-0101. Call, be a part of the show. Let me know. Send me an email at tristanlawshowmedia@gmail.com. If you're watching this live, if you're watching this on demand, feel free to put your comments in the description and go ahead and give us subscribe too. Jess, I think we're going to come back on Wednesday. You want to come back Wednesday? You free?
You know I'm always free for you, Trish.
Don't say that now, because they're going to think that you should be on every show, which you should. I love what you did today.
I would love to. Every time I lock in with y'all every time. Trish, you know that. We're the best drivers out here.
I love that.
Like we're probably the best wrestling podcast on YouTube right now. People just don't know it.
Hey, look, man, that's for everybody else to decide. Well, that's another episode of the Tristen Law Show. If you like what we did here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Don't make us your little dirty secret. Share us on your social media. I'm Tristen Law. She is Jess Thee Yaptain. She's the captain of the Yaptain. Thank you so much to Fernando. Welcome to the group, Joshua. And I look forward to seeing you guys all again Wednesday at noon. I'm Tristen Law. This is the Tristen Law Show, and I'll see you next time.